Today, on January 15th, we celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day, marking what would have been MLK's 95th birthday. And it's not crazy to say that MLK could have been celebrating with his family today had it not been for the scorn of evil and hatred that still systematically infects our country. Acts of service towards one another on one day out of the year is great, but were he here today, MLK himself would tell you that it does nothing to combat the hate and evil that he was fighting his whole life. Not just one day out of the year, but every single day we have to question and challenge the systems which we live under. Systems that Martin Luther King recognized as prejudice and racist back then continue to hold marginalized groups back to this day. And these issues exist in every single system. Just because a doctor can't refuse service to a black woman based on the color of her skin does not change the reality that now, in America, black women are 3 times more likely to die during childbirth, regardless of socioeconomic class. Just because the KKK is now seen as inherently evil by most Americans, and both major parties claim to believe they're evil, doesn't mean that modern neo-Nazi movements aren't being told to stand back and stand by the Republican frontrunner for President of the United States. In his letter from Birmingham jail, MLK made it clear that the biggest stumbling block in the way to black people's freedom is not the white citizen's counselor or the Ku Klux Klanner, but the white moderate, who is more devoted to order than to justice. At the time of his death, a majority of the country still saw MLK as a troublemaker and harmful to the black movement. Many of those who supported the signing of the Civil Rights Bill viewed MLK in this light. So this MLK Day, we need to ask ourselves, are we a part of that stumbling block, or are we devoted to justice? If we're actually devoted to justice, then we need to be devoted to justice at the site of any injustice. When black protesters are marching down your streets, will you be vocal with them only online, or will you actually put your boots on and join them hand in hand? That is the fight MLK laid his life down for. In order for things to really change the way MLK wanted, we need to be willing to walk the walk instead of just talking the talk and posting something once per year to try to feel better about ourselves.